This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Knife culture returns.
Penetration.
Very powerful loads.
All that and more.
Mike Tyson has a PSA for everybody out there listening.
At least one of these imaginary scenes is certain to offend somebody. But please don't be offended. I really think that a sense of humor is necessary to maintain your sanity in this deadly serious business of ours. What is comedy?
Super Media Bros.
Thank you for loading up that very powerful PSA, Mike.
He blew a powerful load with that PSA.
Very PSA. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. I was thinking that could be like a thing. You know what I mean? Like
What, blowing loads?
No, I mean the corroboration between powerful loads and a PSA.
Mighty Morphin Power Loaders.
Fucking A. Welcome to episode 110 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okami.
We're back with Cult Cinema's Showdown. The 42nd one. Holy fucking shit.
And we survived yet again.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's get right into it. It is Caliber Press's follow-up to Surviving Edged Weapons. Fucking hostage officer survival. And this week, that will go up against Second Chance versus Magnum Force, which is the title of it. It's not three separate movies. But goddamn, it could have been.
And they're, in a way, very similar, and then again, very drastically different, because you get the same kind of humor with Caliber Press's, production style, with how they reenact scenarios and reintroduce like techniques and stuff, versus with Second Chance, they made it humorous to a degree, except for a lot of the other stuff that came with the movie itself. So similar concepts, similar ideas, but very different like approaches, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the humor, like you can tell whenever something is unintentionally funny, and then you try to put like comedy into something, and it just it comes like so close to being just god awfully cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was so cheesy. He just kicked me in the shin because, like, god damn, it's too much cheese.
I had to kick the fuck out of him
because it's all my fucking fault.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
I'm in pain.
I'll kick you again. Hang on. Ow. That's right, bitch.
Abuse. This is every fucking day.
Yeah, no, these movies kind of abused us too, because we'll just get right into it and say that Hostage Officer Survival is definitely not as good as Surviving Edged Weapons, but there is still like that, the same narrator, the same production team, and the same kind of style of footage and shit. It's
It's like they try too hard with the reenactments on this.
Yeah, let's get into that. Let's go ahead and get into it, dude. Because honestly, I wonder if like they looked at they looked at Surviving Edged Weapons and they were just like, guys, we went a little too hard. Like nobody's gonna take this shit seriously.
We need to sharpen up on our production here.
I don't know, man. I wonder who actually like for real had sat down to watch that movie and like, because these are actual police training videos, mind you. These aren't just like, random ass fucking videos that were put together. These were made for like police departments to be trained with.
I mean, I wonder who watched it and sat there and just walked up to the people that made it. It's like, I learned that y'all are in the wrong field because y'all are making comedy, not documentary or training videos.
Yeah, because like most of that crap was just the most unrealistic scenarios ever. And I'm speaking about surviving edged weapons. And to a degree, I mean, some of these, like most of these scenarios could actually happen, but the way that they go down, it's totally unrealistic in hostage officer survival.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie, like, just it opens up, and I have to fucking laugh because there's this shot, you know, while we're getting into shots, there's this fucking camera shot where these two cops are fucking sitting in their patrol car, and there's like this hot chick that walks by, and the one guy's like, "Hey, check that out," and they're like gawking at her, and then the passenger, like the other guy in the fucking vehicle's like, "Nah, forget that, man. Let's go check out that hobo in the alley," or
Just
something like that.
Suddenly shot to the next scene where it's just this black guy dead.
He's choking on his own blood because he got shot or stabbed in the fucking throat, one of the two. And it's so fucked up because, like, they're getting in front of him and they're just like, "Who shot you? Can you talk?" And he's sitting there, he's like,
You need to write that down. Cross-reference that name.
"Well, can you at least nod your head if you know who shot you?" And you're just like,
Was
"God,
that a nod?
Jesus fucking Christ, man. He's dying. Like, get this man some fucking help."
Where are the EMTs, EMSs, whatever you want to call them?
Yeah.
Paramedics.
Yeah, and we're not gonna go through like the whole movie step by step, obviously, but we're gonna touch on like some key scenes because throughout the film you get, what is it, like 5 or 6 different scenarios of like a hostage situation involving officer, and they show like the beginnings of them, and then they go to some explanations here and there, but then they always like come back around to these situations, and they show you like the resolve of like, or they show you the beginning and then like the middle and then the resolve of each one.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh. The first thing that happens is like this like Mexican Vanilla Ice guy fucking, or like Latino Vanilla Ice dude just takes this dude like hostage with his own fucking gun, points it at his ass and holds it against his ass the whole fucking time. And he says the word "man" like so many times you could create a drinking game out
You
of
want
it.
to take it out of here, man?
"I don't know, man. This is a small alley, man.
Don't know if I can get out of here, man.
You better get me through this, man."
Yeah. I mean, within the first 10, 20 minutes, you're going to get drunk off of him saying, "man," if you were doing that drinking game for that shit.
And lo and behold, you start watching this and you're expecting the narrator to come through at any minute. And oh boy, is it. It's so funny because like once he like starts talking, you completely remember why you started watching and just going down the rabbit hole of surviving edged weapons. Because he's just like, I don't remember how exactly he says it, but it was really funny. "Did you ever think that this would happen?" And you're just like, whoa, Robert Stack.
When you're ever confronted by a hostage situation, take the precautions in order to save your life.
Right? And then you see the one guy just looking around. He's just like, oh my God. He's like, my partner's right down the road. He's like, "What is that, man?" He's like, "It's my radio. I need to talk to my partner. Otherwise, he's going to know something's wrong." "Well, you better shut him up, man."
That's another thing, too, that was so, like, apparent in this one. Every scenario almost had some kind of reaction to the radio. Like, what is that?
Yeah, all these criminals are fucking idiots. Like, they wrote them to be stupid, and you know they fucking did that shit on purpose just to give these like the potential like police officers some goddamn hope that every person that they encounter is going to be this dumb, because every fucking one of them is like, "What is that? What is this? What's this? What's this? There's radio right there. What's this? A gun's in my fucking hand." Like, they start fucking singing, and it's just, holy shit.
You can just imagine the narrator's like, every criminal out there is a fucking moron. And these are the tales of how you can tell if they're a moron or not. Turn your radio on very loud and let your partner talk into it, therefore distracting their brainwaves into getting out of the situation.
"Welcome to High School Dropout, the musical." And you're like, what?
Welcome to Common Sense 101.
Shit, dude. And I don't know, because it goes from that, and then they leave, and it's more explanation of like how to dodge like the
It's basically
situations and shit.
Yeah, it's basically how to unarm the opponent, how to counterbalance their arm or their hand or the gun itself to where it comes out of their grasp and into yours, how to dodge the shot, and so forth and so forth. There was even one scenario where it was a shiv. It wasn't a gun, it was a shiv.
Yeah, and like, okay, so getting to the shiv thing, because that's like one of the next scenes I want to talk about. I just realized how it goes. They start showing you the different positioning of possible hostage takeover for yourself. Like they show like a dude on your side or from behind or in front of you, and they give all these supposedly actual scenarios where people failed to contain the situation. And then they start using like footage from that movie The Onion Field with James Woods and Ted Danson about, it was based on a real fucking incident that happened. And it's like, oh, here comes these little scare tactics here.
I felt like they could have taken all the partnering up of the hostage and the criminal and put them in a ballroom, and they can just literally have like a waltz, because that's literally what it felt like. I was just watching like a waltz of hostages.
Yeah, like especially like there is one where this guy is holding this Asian like security guard hostage or whatever, like, and he's got the gun to his neck, and he's walking him and he's spinning him around, like he's got his his stomach to his back, and he's just like, na, 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 and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Really though, I asked myself, what the fuck am I watching? The first time I ever saw this, I was like, why? But the scene that you were getting into with the shiv is probably one of the funniest ones here. Just the way that it plays out.
I mean, they reference yet another Mexican person, taking control of the situation, and he kept raving on about how, like, I am a king. They need to be treated with respect.
Oh yeah, because the scene opens where they're in. Obviously they're getting this dude to transport him to a different part of the facility, and this one officer is like, okay, he's been good today. He shouldn't give you any trouble. Blah blah blah. And so he just like waves at him, and the guy like throws like metal. He's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like the dude, like the prisoner is like, "Yeah," and he walks up. What happened to my property, man? I lost it last time. He's like already being a shit to this officer.
It's gonna be up in the front. Just come with me.
Yeah. So he brings him down this fucking stairwell, and they make sure to zoom in on the sign that's like, door must be closed at all times, no exceptions or some shit like that.
Dun dun dun.
So he walks through and doesn't even have like this. They don't even cuff this guy, which they should have done that, but they didn't. And they go down this fucking stairwell, and the guy speaks Spanish, and he's like, fuck, I can't get out of this. He says something like, fuck, I can't escape this hallway or some shit because the door's locked.
But the thing is, he leans so far forward. It looks like he's receiving anal. He's like so far projected forward to look at this door. It's like, oh shit, I can't get out of here. He's like, what was that? You can't speak Spanish? No, just keep going.
Yeah, and that was the entire setup, was like the dude was making sure that the guy couldn't understand what the fuck he said.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh, great. Here we go again. And he patted him down before this, mind you.
Yeah, and how he did not find this, I don't know. But the guy had a fucking shiv in his like elastic band in his pants.
It was like the size of a fucking machete, dude. It was a machivy, if you will.
Machivy, yeah.
He fucking pulls that bitch out of his pants, and he just like puts it up against this dude's throat. Like, where the fuck are they gonna go?
Yeah, he's in between a flight of stairs. Both doors are pretty much confronted by cops at some point. So I was like, where the fuck are you gonna go? And that's what the cop was trying to tell him. Was like, honestly, you think you can get out of here through the front door?
Yeah. And then it cuts from that one to, I think, another one of my favorite ones, where this cop is like walking up to this dude, and he's in like, this guy is like a mega giant compared to this cop. And it's on some property with like some shed, this white shed outside. And he walks up. The dude fucking grabs the cop and yeets his gun fucking like right out of his holster and like puts it in his pocket, and then he just throws his radio into the middle of the yard and drags him into this fucking room.
And then proceeds to tie him up, beat his ass, and question why nobody listens to him.
I mean, he's just sitting there, and you just hear like he's just getting fucking punched in the gut, and then he's getting his fucking chest caved in, and his face is just getting fucking.
But we have to constantly get reminded why he's angry. You know why I'm angry?
Nobody listens to me.
That's exactly why I'm angry. Like, who the fuck cares if you're angry? You have a fucking cop tied up in your shit.
Nobody listens to me, and you're gonna listen to me now.
So if somebody goes out there and he tells me I have a fucking cop tied up, I don't believe you.
Right? And he gets pissed off.
Nobody believes me. Goes punches the cop.
Yeah. Just fuck you, neighbor. Like
I told my neighbor that I had you here, and he still didn't believe me. Nobody listens to me.
it punches him every time somebody doesn't fucking believe him. He's like, you're gonna get a black eye for every fucking time somebody doesn't believe me. I've only got 2 eyes. Well, I'm gonna add more. Like he just beats the shit out of him.
He
dude.
fucking calls 911 and tells them, they're like, sir, that's a prank call. Click.
Dude,
They don't believe me.
didn't we watch something? And I swear to God, I'm blanking on it. And it may have even been this one, but I feel like it wasn't this. We watched something where the 911 operator didn't believe the fucking person calling. And I can't remember what it is. But that's what I pictured during that, just now when you were saying that.
It's like, sir, hang up the phone. What makes this part even funnier to me was the cop was looking around trying to assess the scenario and trying to figure out how he's going to get out of here. He looks up, and we caught this before he even looked up at this thing. There was a very distinct arm and head in the roof, or the ceiling, I should say, of the shed. The cop looks up, and the criminal was like, "Don't you dare look at her."
Don't look at her. She's mine. It's a fucking blow-up doll. Just fucking...
He made it known that every time that his wife or lady or whatever would give him lip, that he would give them correction or give them an adjustment or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so therefore you're equating that this blow-up doll is your wife. You are far off the deep end more than I thought you were.
Dude, and you know what the best part about that like blow-up doll thing is? Like, speaking of blow-up doll, he had some fucking bullshit, and I stress the term bullshit, some bullshit-ass fucking master plan to like blow up the neighborhood somehow. He had some kind of like detonator with some C4 in it, or like he's got C4 somewhere that he's got a fucking detonator for, and he's just ready to blow the whole neighborhood up.
What was funny about the blow-up doll, too, was as soon as the cop looked up and he had that reaction, the narrator's like, if the hostage taker is getting overreactive about what you're looking at, completely avert your gaze at whatever they're looking at.
Yeah. And then, like, before any of this shit even happened, like, even the narrator was like, you know, sometimes you have to, you know, what did he say? You have to, like, get on the guy's level, basically, and just listen to what they have to say. Like, if you make them think that you're their friend and that you're there to listen and all this shit. And it's just like, oh my God, dude. Okay.
Which goes into the whole blow up in the block situation. Because this guy had he had those RC car, like, big ass fucking remotes, and it had 2 antennas coming up. He's like, give me one good reason why I shouldn't blow up the whole block right now.
It looked like a whole ass Atari with fucking joysticks taped to it or some shit.
ET in it, that's why I was going to blow up.
Yeah, ATN. Fuck yeah. And the ETANA, he just pulls it up.
But the cop was like, he was saying something along the lines of, you know, if you blow me up now, I won't be able to listen to you today.
No, he's like, I don't care what's going on, or, you know, what your problem is. He's like, but you don't have to do it today. You can always do it tomorrow. I'm here to listen to you today and figure out what's wrong and try to help you today. Who's going to clean you up if you blow yourself up? Think about who has to see that. But I thought nobody listened to this guy, so nobody's going to give a fuck if he blows up. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck, dude.
I mean, if he blew himself up and pieces of him are all over the fucking street, I mean, somebody would care about him, so therefore he's like, that's a good reason to blow myself up.
And then they move on from that guy, because we'll get back to him. They move on from that guy to a couple of other scenarios, but there's definitely one that sticks out for both of us, and it's they talk about how some of these police officers have people that they've put in jail, and it's this fucking chick, and she's stalking a female officer, like following her around in her own vehicle, and eventually she tracks her down to some, what is like a bank or some kind of like public office building or some crap.
Yeah, it's like a city council office or some kind of like Capitol building or something.
So, okay, the woman fucking like comes out of the bathroom, or out of a bathroom stall, and the cop is in there washing her hands, and she turns around and she's like, hey, I think I know you. I know you from somewhere. And she's like, yeah, you put me away for 10 years, and I did nothing wrong, and you put me away while I rotted. And I was just kind of like, bitch, you look pretty put together for somebody that's rotted.
Mm-hmm.
But what made me laugh was the cop just is like, oh no, like very just like nonchalantly, oh no, you're the one that's been following me. And the fucking chick is like, take off your belt. What? Take off your gun belt. Because that's another thing they kept talking about in this one, how people would get their, the cops would get their gun belts like taken off and shit.
It almost felt like it was going to escalate more than that, though, because if you really listen to how they were like very enthusiastic about taking their belts off and shit like that, it's just you was waiting for them to say like, okay, now take everything else off.
That's because
there was one scene,
the jogger.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about how like fanny packs could be like good concealants for handguns or some shit.
And this random dude like stops his jogger and he's like, "Is there a gun in there?" No.
Mr. Harley Davidson hat wearing motherfucker.
Yeah. So she tosses her fanny pack to the guy and then he's like, "Now take your pants off." I'm like, "Whoa, dude."
Yeah, dude. Like he's like, "Is there no gun in here?" And she's like, "No." Take off your clothes. I really don't want to do that. Take off your clothes.
And she pulls like this slick ass motion where she like puts her hands in the jogging pants. And pow!
Oh, dude, she shoots the fuck out of this guy. It's the greatest shit ever. Because it's dumbass.
And he reacted so like, just didn't even like phase him. He's like,
bro, there's a couple of shots in this movie where fucking
plenty of shots.
Yeah, there's one shot because they keep showing also. I know we're getting like jumbled up here, but this movie it kind of is jumbled up. There's this one particular scene where this dude is in like a factory, and he's like, what do you say? He's like, I'm gonna shoot. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna shoot you. And he's like some factory worker just standing there, and this cop comes in behind this giant like piping system, and he goes to shoot him. And when he shoots the guy makes a face like, bitch, like but he like he's when you're just like. Like you sigh and you have like that face you make and you're just like, God damn it. That's what the guy that got shot, like that's the face he made. He was just so
done with life. He was
yeah.
Like, no,
well, he was
literally. I'm tired of getting shot.
He was literally done with life. He fucking killed his ass.
Yeah.
He's just like, nah, fuck it. Shot. Oh man. But no, back to like a couple of the other hostage situations. Like we'll resolve all of them. By the way, the one where the dude had the chick at knife and gunpoint in the kitchen, and then the one cop is standing there. He's like, "What's your name?" My name's TJ. I'm gonna call you T.
Is that okay? You can call me whatever you want.
Yeah, you call me whatever you want. I hate this bitch. Like he's just fucking like.
She's like, "Oh my god, that hurts."
You want to get? What did he say? God, what the fuck did he say? Because he basically was just talking about how he was gonna punch her again or something. He's like, "I'm gonna punch you again."
Yeah, and the cop was just sitting there like, "Okay, we're gonna talk this out, me and you, okay, T? We got this."
Oh, don't hit the bitch. Like, yeah, don't hit her, T. But so that's a situation. And then I think there was like one more. Okay, so the other major one in here was the one dude that he's cuffed to the porch, or he's like tie wrapped to the porch.
He's handcuffed to the railing, yeah,
of the porch. And then there's this other crazy like redneck guy
he looks like a Gary Busey or Nick Nolte looking dude.
Dude, he is like straight up fucking drug binge Nick Nolte, like just got his gun against this dude's head, and he's surrounded by other cops, and they bring like a sniper in and all this other shit like that. But I mean, like getting back, we'll kind of go through the middle of each one and like resolve them, because it cuts back to the fucking like Vanilla Ice dude he's covered in fucking North Carolina college, like he's Tar Heels all the fucking way. He's just pissed because they lost, probably. He's just like, man, I don't know, man. I lost my fucking bet on them, man. You better do something about this, man. Where the fuck we at, man? Man, shut the fuck up.
But then we go back to all the other scenarios. There was one in particular we forgot to mention, was the guy in the car that held that cop hostage, and he kept like recalling these random ass like phrases like, "Oh, he's here.
You talking
he's
about the
graduate."
You talking about the bald guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
these are going to graduate.
Yeah, these are like little cut scenes that are short. But we laughed at this one because the guy has his gun pointed, and then the narrator's just like, make sure you time this right. He's looking. He's like, make sure that there's enough space between you and the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the opportunity arises, take action. And it's like, okay.
But the criminal was literally just ranting, just random phrases. We don't even know why. But apparently it was trying to recreate that there's some of them that are very unstable to the point where they don't make sense to you, but they make sense to them.
EDPs.
Yeah,
From,
EDPs.
from the last one,
Yep.
emotionally damaged person or emotionally like distraught person or some shit.
Yeah. So basically it was an EDP. And whenever he got the gun cocked out of the guy's hand, he had like a pen that he pulled, like an actual writing pen from his pocket. And he proceeded to stab the guy in the fucking face. He hit him so hard in the eye that it made that animation noise, like noise.
Yeah, like whenever a cartoon character like crunches really hard on something, you just hear.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the fuck was that shit?
And then there's this over dramatic like shot of him like wiping his face with the blood coming out of his eye and it's all over the fucking windshield. Like he was finger painting fucking murder on his fucking windshield.
Like ketchup and shit, dude.
Yeah. He was just like, dun, dun.
X gonna give it to you. He was like, God damn it.
Did not see that coming.
Dude, he got his ass fucking handed to him. It was it was so funny.
He got iced.
He really fucking did. Like that was a funny situation. And then they show what was the other I'm trying to remember the second one that we talked about from like because they jumped from the Mexican dude like the Tar Heel guy.
Well, then we didn't talk about the Shiv dude in the
Okay, so that
prison.
that was the next one. So pretty much the dude like talks him down or something.
After they do like a tango for like 20 minutes, like this guy is literally sitting in the same corner in this stairwell, just looking back and forth, back and forth. The cop's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get out of here, man. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he finally got enough space to where he like manhandled his arm and then he like judo chopped him on the ground.
Oh my God. Dude, the fucking shit they tell you, like, because how the narrator is like, when you've got him down and we can look for a weak spot, when he drops his guard, then you make your move. Literally none of this would happen, dude. Like, the way he fucking turns and spins out of there, the guy would have, like jolt reacted and probably stabbed him in the neck or, like, fucking cut his stomach But just the fact that the guy fucking just judo chops him in the back, not the kidneys, not his neck, not his fucking head, in the middle of his back. And the dude just fucking and he falls the fuck down. And then the guy fucking gets away from him and calls his partner on the radio. He's like, "Oh, get in the stairwell, blah, blah, blah. On it." And the dude fucking like runs and but that's all they do. They didn't resolve the rest of that. Like that was it. So
That's resolved.
Go ahead and resolve the Tar Heel dude real quick.
Well, no, because that's the longest standoff.
Oh, so you want to just sandwich this whole thing?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it then. All right, so they move
Because
on.
we're going. This is an hour and a half long film, I believe.
Yeah, some of these standoffs happen in real time too.
So we go back to the guy from the shed, where
Oh my God.
he said, "Okay, we're going for a ride, me and you." And the arrow's like, sometimes they take drastic measures where they bring you in a car and you go somewhere else. And he's like, "Yeah, we're going for a ride."
And you're sitting there just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because this dude's like dead set on this. He's gonna hijack the dude's car and he's just gonna go with him.
So he forces the cop to get into the driver's side from the passenger side.
You tell this fucking story and I'm gonna act like the cop.
So he pushes the cop into the driver's side. Yeah. The fucking neighbor walks out. He's like, I forgot the guy's name. He's like, "Hey, Jerry, what's going on? How you doing?" "Oh, I'm all right."
The cop fucking has reached down into his pant leg to grab his spare gun that's been there the whole fucking time. And he shoots the dude right in the fucking stomach like 2 or 3 times.
With the fucking neighbor sitting right there. So I would half expect the neighbor just pull out his fucking shotgun. It's like, oh shit.
He fucking shoots the
Shoots
cop.
the fucking cop. It's like, oh damn, I just shot a cop.
Yeah, dude, that's... It's so bad. Like, just we're not even like condoning like that literally happening, but like in this fucking movie setting, dude, like that is that would be the fucking most dumb shit ever. It's like the dude's like, "Huh, somebody just shot my neighbor." He fucking because it's dark outside by this time, so he just fucking he would, like unload on whoever was in the driver's seat and kill him. Like, yeah, fuck, just.
I just shot a pig.
Oh no. It's just like fucking hell, dude. Just whatever.
But that's resolved.
And then we go to this may be one of my favorites, okay? So we go to the chick that was stalking the female cop. And the narrator's just like, if you get into a situation like this, it's always best to have your backup be on alert. And she's got her partner, and he's just like kind of behind a corridor because the chick takes the female officer hostage and walks out of the bathroom. Where the fuck are they going to go? If she was really that mad, she'd have killed the bitch right there. No. Drags her the fuck out. And she's in front of like all these people, and these people are just kind of like, Like, they don't even fucking like immediately react. You just hear.
I mean, the partner's like, get out of here now. And there's like this one like redneck hillbilly looking fella dude. He's just like in front of the camera, just like, I'm just here.
He reminds me of the ASDF where the guy just goes,
Yeah.
Like he just stands there.
I just came to pay my parking ticket.
Like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
This isn't my day.
Yeah, so he's trying to negotiate with her, right? And he's like, okay, just calm down. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you want. We'll get out of this. We'll talk about it. We'll get through this. And he's just got the gun pointed at her the whole time. And she's like, Jeopardy theme music plays for a little bit. And
Well, he's like, what do you want?
yeah, she's a helicopter.
And he's like, it's going to be kind of hard to get a helicopter in these damn streets. What else can we get you?
She's like, oh, this pisses me off. Like, we fucking died. Because there's telephone poles around everywhere. There's a lot of cars and a lot of people. It's a major street. Gonna have to think of something else.
Well, that pisses me off.
She was just so fucking mad. But the way she said it, though, well, this just pisses me off.
Why are you more mad about that than being in jail for 10 years for something you didn't do?
Yeah, if you didn't do anything wrong, now you've done something wrong. I
Yeah.
get that happening, like being pissed for having your life taken away if you really didn't do something. Holy shit, though. Like, dude, I don't know. But basically, she looks for an opening, and she drops, and then the dude just blows this fucking chick away. Real hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and all the stuff that happens in this movie is shown in graphic detail, mind you. So yeah,
resolved.
That's done.
Now we go back to the guy on the porch.
Oh yeah.
So the radio goes off on the cop, and the fucking criminal's like, what is that?
They all say that shit. In fact, the guy that got stabbed in the eyeball with the fucking pin, the cop's radio is going off, and he's like, what is that?
That's the third fucking person in this film who doesn't know what a radio is.
It's like Lil Jon. What?
What is that? But he freaks out. He's like, oh, that's my radio. Which one is it?
Is it the car radio? He's like,
It's the one on my shoulder. You better answer or they're going to be kind of pissed about it, basically.
mm-hmm.
The cop on the other end is like trying to, get a bead on the criminal. He's like, what's your name? You can call me Mary, Larry,
Joe, and then like something else that rhymes with Mary and Jerry. That's it.
Harry.
Yeah.
You can call me Mary, Harry, Joe, Larry. You pick.
I'm just fucking sitting there like, Larry, Curly, or Mo?
Yeah.
What a dipshit.
But he progresses to talk to the hostage taker, and he's like, you can call me whatever. So
It's like a Die Hard situation where he's like, you can call me Roy, you can call me pal.
yeah. I ain't your friend, pal.
A friend?
But as the escalation starts to dwindle down with how crazy and erratic this guy is, they call in a sniper team, which is basically these two guys, across the street.
They look like they just got finished playing paintball.
Yeah.
Like homemade camo just running up.
Hey, Ben. Can you come in for a sniper shot real quick?
Sure, Jerry, I'll be right there.
Wait, are you playing paintball again?
Yeah, don't tell the Sarge.
Okay, Ben. Just hurry up.
I'm on it, Jerry.
And they like scuttle in open field,
Like in the middle
bright
of
as
the neighborhood.
day. It's like
The fucking guy taking this cop hostage would have seen that shit, dude. There's no fucking way camouflage is gonna guard you from the fucking
The street behind you, the blue sky, the buildings.
Yeah, the 12 o'clock sunshine on a fucking blacktop pavement neighborhood road. You can see that shit for fucking miles, dude. The only way that you wouldn't be seen is if you were John Cena.
Yeah. But they prone up, aim at the guy, take the shot, and literally it just shows the bullet straight through the temple out onto the side of the house, and all the brain matter hits the cop in the fucking chin.
They JFK'd the fuck out of this dude.
Yeah.
They JFK'd his ass.
They lobotomy his fucking ass, man. Just
Law bottomy.
yeah. And the cop who was in the hostage situation gets put in the car, all traumatized and shit. And the two guys like, it's okay to come out of the car. It's fine. He's dead. He's like, no, I want to make sure he's dead before I come out of this car.
Bro, how fucking dead do you need this dude to be? I mean, I get having like post-traumatic stress disorder from this situation because that's fucked up. Like, it's fucked up to go through it. But the way they presented it in this movie is so fucking hilarious. It's like, I want to make sure you're dead before I get out of this car. Well, you can take my sidearm. Here's your sidearm.
They give him a fucking handgun.
Like, goddamn, this poor bastard could have easily, like, shot himself right there, dude. That would have been so fucked up, too, because, like, that's a situation that could probably happen. Like, the guy would be so distraught over it. He's just like, no, fuck this. I'm done. Mm-hmm. But they do address, like, how, they're like, well, you need to rely on your peers and blah, blah, blah to get through this. So then we go back to, I feel like we might have, no, we missed the dude in the standoff with the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, his partner comes in on the other end of the kitchen, has the gun straight to him, and you hear the girl like, oh my God, it's another cop. He's going to shoot us.
He's like, nah, T, don't do this shit. I got you, man. We're right here.
He's like, no, man, I'm going to beat this bitch.
I've been where you at before, dude. My wife was cheating on me. I caught her in bed with my best friend. And I'm just like, and then the narrator's like, sometimes you have to make up a lie to get on the criminal's level.
But then they had like this little like bonding experience. Like, you ever been to Lakin?
I don't like Lakin.
Okay, well, what about, I can't remember the place. Like, oh yeah, I like that place.
I don't like the woods. It's just like, I don't like the woods, man.
I don't like the woods, man.
I don't like the woods, man. Man.
But he eventually talks the guy down. He's like, okay, let her go. Okay.
Drop the knife.
Drop the knife.
Fuck you.
Puts it down. Drop the knife. Fuck y'all.
Fuck you.
So those two situations are resolved. But there was one other scenario. I forgot what happened, but the guy that was the cop, he was he had the same reaction as the black guy from the 5 or 6 stores video. I can't remember what scenario it was though.
I don't know, but while you think about that, I just remembered something. There's a situation. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up the Tar Heel guy, but it looks like the same guy, that the same actor that is being held hostage as the police officer. That same dude, just in the time it took him to get out of that situation, has grown a full mustache and has now
from trauma.
Yeah, and has now been placed into a car where they give you like scenarios of like if you're being held, like you're driving, the hostage is in the passenger seat and he's got a gun pointed to you. One is with like a revolver and the other one is with a 9mm. And they show how to grasp the gun where your finger is like either on the hammer of the gun or like where you can tilt the barrel away from you. I'm sorry, but there is no fucking way that in any of these situations the dude driving gets out alive. And it's the same fucking dude that is in both of these scenarios that is kidnapped or hostage in the fucking opening. And I'm just like, man, this dude sucks. And every goddamn police officer has the Minneapolis Police Department patch on their fucking shirts. And I'm just like, oh man, you guys are terrible.
Also, there was a guy that little, I think it was like a construction plant or some kind of like facility where he was being held hostage. And this like foreman walks up on the other side of the railing and he's just like, oh shit. He's like, I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot you too.
He's like, dude, I was just going over these fucking blueprints. What the hell? Like, it was all these little miniature. Yeah, it was a part of that montage of how they were talking about how to like subdue your attacker. Mm-hmm. And it was like different sized guns every time. It was just so funny. He just, fuck. He just looks up.
I didn't want to go to work today. This is why.
He's like, I should have called out.
Should have used my 6 days.
Shit, dude.
But we go back to Tar Heels.
Mhm.
Now, granted, this is an hour into the film. We still have 20-something minutes left. The guy is still at hostage point, and it is nighttime.
Oh, yeah. Enough time has passed.
He's been at it all day.
And meanwhile, the TV reporting has happened on the crime scene. He's had like 6 of his colleagues wondering where the fuck he's at.
Nobody's looking for this dude.
Well, I mean, they don't necessarily they show like one guy be like, "Oh man, he's in trouble." Here's how they resolve it though. Apparently, they've sent a sniper out, but it's not even like a regular like just a single shot gun. The dude's, I don't remember how it happens, but the guy being held hostage somehow, I don't know if he elbows the guy or he slips away. But dude, whoever the fuck was hiding out had like some kind of like submachine gun. They blew his ass away.
Mm-hmm.
Literally color blue and blew his ass away.
Iced, baby.
Exactly. That motherfucker went down.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla iced baby.
But yeah, it took a whole hour of this film for them to resolve that one scenario.
Boom, 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 boom. You see, it's not like Queen. I added the extra boom in there. So
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus fuck. Yeah, so they kill his ass, and I think every situation it finally gets resolved, but just the way they fucking did all of it, dude, is so goddamn corny. I just want to know what happened to the poor fucker in the alley that got shot in the throat. He probably did.
Probably. They just stuck him to the side. It's like, no, we got more filming to do. You is not important.
But yeah, that's basically hostage officer survival in a nutshell. Or a gun shell. I mean, either way.
Casing.
Yeah.
I once pitched, like at the end of this film, if they took the narrator from these 2 movies and VJ Emmy from the Wakanda...
Yeah, all the Wakaliwood
films. Stuff, yeah. Have them have a narrate off. Or switch roles,
yeah, I was going to
basically.
say, just have them swap. Because imagine VJ Emmy talking about, like, edged weaponry on surviving edged weapons.
This blade is sharp. Stabby, stabby, stabby.
Right? He's just like, EDP's all over.
Canadian Commando.
Yes. Drop the knife. Fuck you. Oh, sorry.
The gun meets the blade.
Yeah, the gun meets the blade. Fuck. And then, on the other hand, movie. Wakanda's greatest action film.
Mm-hmm. Or Uganda. I keep thinking Wakanda. I don't know why, but whatever.
The tiger is in the cage. Just...
When the tiger is in the cage, be prepared for backlash.
What the fuck?
I mean, the tiger has blades, so it's surviving edge weapons there, too.
Oh, my fucking God. Yeah, but that's the thoughts we had on it.
Mm.
I'm done. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with the next feature on this sumbitch.
More survival.
Until then, check out Realms and Nerds and Things I Found Online.
Hey everybody, this is RJ,
Ash, Ray, Brandon, Harrison, and Bronson.
We host a Dungeons & Dragons podcast called Realms and Nerds. Some highlights of our show include wreaking havoc in every town we visit,
blowing up hot tubs, killing off fan favorite characters,
high necromancers,
inappropriate wedding etiquette,
and every now and then, actually good storytelling.
Join us in the realms of Pridea for fun fantasy adventures. You can find us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or just about wherever you get podcasts.
In a world where digital content barrels towards us at relentless breakneck speeds, where posts and memes and tweets and snaps rain down a punishing assault of attention-grabbing data, 3 heroic podcasters with a strong background in broadcast media are taking on the internet. Each week, we break down the trends, technology, and connections that are transforming our lives. We are Things I Found Online.
Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Speaking of Things I Found Online.
It's free real estate.
That's how I felt about this fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, fucking going from hostage officer survival to Second Chance versus Magnum Force. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with any of this shit, obviously, Second Chance is actually an American body armor manufacturing company, and it was the first one to use Kevlar for their body armor. And the company was founded in the early 70s by this former Marine, and I swear to God, former Marine and pizza delivery guy named Richard Davis. He developed the idea of bulletproof vests after shooting 3 armed robbers in self-defense during one of his pizza deliveries.
Okay.
That further explains how fucking out there this guy is, okay? This man has appeared on several shows on Discovery or whatever, and he tests these fucking things by shooting himself with these high round
357 Magnum and shit.
Yeah.
This dude is nuts. He must have did at least 3 or 4 times in this movie alone.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This movie is 2 hours long, and it's part of an entire Versus series from Second Chance. There was a one before this one in the 70s, and then there was another one after this called Versus the Cop Killers. And that one was 8 hours long, but this one here is kind of the gold of the 3 of them. And it's so weird because it's almost instructional mixed with true stories of the body armor, mixed with weird comedic skits, starring Richard and random other people. And it's, I don't know how to fucking.
I mean, you explained it perfectly, honestly. The guy shoots himself, he shoots other things, and then he makes jokes about shooting things.
Yeah, because the movie, okay, before we get into the meat of it, the way the movie breaks down, literally this, is there is a. I mean, I know I just explained what it all entails, but the order of everything in which it happens is you get a lesson on the armor, or a kind of round in some of the armor. Then the comedy skits that get put in there are reenactments there's 8 of them from the point of view of blank.
Mm-hmm.
And they fill it in more and more. And it gets more and more absurd. The shit we're about to talk about and tell you, we are not making this shit up. You can find both of these movies on YouTube, by the way, because I don't know any other way to fucking watch them. It's a good thing it's free.
Yeah.
So we get introduced because the movie literally opens up on a door opening, a shotgun blast, and a dude getting fucking just shot right in the chest twice with a 357 Magnum.
They pull the punches immediately as soon as it starts.
But it goes from that to Richard shutting a book, and it looks like it's a sermon, but it's a classroom, and you just hear, and he just is gun violence a result of poverty? And he just whoa, dude! He starts getting mega serious on everything.
And you have all these kids in the classroom. This one girl is just violence. There's that look on her face of sheer terror. I didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
But no, he's going around trying to solve the idea of we shouldn't have prisons and incarceration because that's money being wasted on punishment when we can actually do rehabilitation and reintroduction into the society, basically.
Yeah, it kind of gets political in a way, but not
But only in that part, though. That full, I want to say it's 5 minutes, maybe at the most. It's just him doing this. And there's this one scene where he's doing this rally, and then all you hear is a bunch of kids go, yay! And I'm why are you rallying the kids?
Yeah, it's a bunch of 10 and 12-year-olds outside. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it too hard, but it was just so fucking weird, man.
Yeah. And then it jumps into him introducing what the video is about. But it's but first of all, here's this little PSA on these 8 little things we basically played in the very beginning of the podcast. He's wanting to reenact point of views of, second chance scenarios with this person and this person and this person.
Yeah,
and this
he's
person.
law enforcement from the point of view of the teenager, from the officer, the chief, I don't remember what all
from
it is.
little kids,
the public itself,
the victim.
Yeah, and it's all this shit. And the first thing that you see is the point of view from teenagers, and it's a boyfriend and girlfriend he's driving in a truck, and they get pulled over because you see these cops just sit. It's weird because it kind of opens like hostage officer survival. 2 cops just sitting there. Hey, check that out. You want to, get into some? Nah, let's go pull those kids over. They're going a mile over the speed limit.
So, which they do pull them over, and then across the street, there's like a break-in of this tear gas like building, basically, and they're like shooting the place up. They're making ruckus and stuff, and the kids are like, "Hey, they're stealing like nerve gas stuff." Oh, don't worry about that. That's for the FBI.
Yeah, but what about the bond they're taking? Oh, that's for the EPA. Don't worry about that.
And it's like, oh, it looks like tear gas.
Yeah, and they're loudly like shooting like assault rifles at this fucking door, and like it's very obvious that it's supposed to be a corny like it's supposed to be a joke because you can even see the actors are kind of like laughing like on camera to themselves about having to deliver these lines.
Mm-hmm.
But the absurdity of it, dude, like. The most shocking thing about that sequence? The gas prices.
Yeah.
It's like $1.06 a gallon.
My first reaction was whenever they pulled up with those guns, they're like, oh my God, damn, look at them prices.
I know.
$1.05, $1.06 a gallon?
Dude, I could fill my whole car up and get a couple Slim Jims.
Truth.
Yeah. But as they're getting frisked down, these guys just get in their little pickup truck and drive the fuck away. And then it cuts to Richard Davis giving one of very many like talks about the types of guns, and like, it just opens up not even on a bulletproof vest. It opens up with him opening fire on a fucking like car in the middle of a field that just he shoots it and it catches on fire.
Yeah, he has like a little machine gun. I forget which one it is, but he like misses like 90% of the shots, but one of them happens to hit gas tank. This car goes up in flames. Then he pulls out a 50 caliber version, and you just see the tracing of each bullet just pierce that fucking car. It's
yeah. It's like, holy shit, this dude thinks he's John Rambo.
And he just casually turns to the cameras like, yep, that's how it fires.
Yeah, and he's just so nonchalant about it. And I think that's what makes this funny to me, is how he's just like, yep, he's so just like...
He's so calm about fucking like high caliber rounds and shit, like destructive power.
Yeah,
yep.
Dude, it just makes me laugh because even in the other sequences, he's got like so much access to all these guns and bullets and shit. He's just like pulling shit out of his ass literally, and then like out of his pants, out of his pockets, sitting on the ground, his shoe. I mean, for fuck's sake,
it looks like he has a wallet for ammunition.
He just lifts his hat and pulls one off his head.
He pulls his Kevlar off, and he's like, "Oh, there's an extra round right there."
He goes full James Woods and Videodrome and just reaches into his stomach, and then he comes out with a gun that's just on his hand. Mm-hmm. This man is made of fucking guns and bullets.
Destruction.
But let's talk about how funny he thinks he is with the sexist ass shit that they put in this movie, which they do address like on camera, but goddamn.
Very dumb version of it though. He introduces how Kevlar cannot stop piercing knives, which we're introducing knife culture at this point.
The knife culture has returned.
He shows up with like his second chance Kevlar, and he asks his assistant, which is it's a very tall, like basically like on verge of 18, if not between 18 and 20-year-old girl, and she is tall as shit. All of it is like black leather trench coat that's like hip skirt like size length.
Yeah, she's in like heels and blonde hair, I think red lipstick maybe. Like very like quote unquote typical of what people like him would think of.
And she basically hands him knives of different variations, and every time she walks away, he's just like gives this very sexist reaction like, oh damn. Yeah. Anyway, and he proceeds to show that my Kevlar cannot stop a piercing knife. So he like stabs the fuck out of this thing. She comes back with another knife, and he's like, whew, oh damn. Like he's like,
yeah, he wipes the sweat off his brow as he watches her walk away every fucking time. And it's just like, dude, it wasn't funny the first time. It's not funny the other 65 times you've done it.
But then it gets worse because he proceeds to ask her to go to Las Vegas with him. And then says, oh, my wife don't mind. I'll just tell her it's like for something to do with business or whatever.
You piece of shit.
And what happens next? We get the feminist police.
Yes, the feminist thought police.
And they over the top this whole scenario. They're like, we can read your thoughts. He pulls out a fucking deck of cards and he says, really? He pulls out 8 of clubs. Well, goddamn.
Yeah,
you can't read it.
Yeah, he throws it down in just disbelief. And we're not making this shit up, everybody.
No.
This is not a bit. This actually fucking happened in this movie.
They proceed to write him a ticket for being a sexist pig and for hitting on this girl.
They're not wrong.
This girl has a hard time ripping the ticket off the little pad.
Yeah.
Gives it to him and he's like, oh, and by the way, you give you this too. And they dump ice water on his crotch. And he's like, oh!
Yeah. And then he tries to make some remark to them as they walk away. And then he just gets nailed with a bucket of a 5-gallon bucket of water. And he just, and it does that shitty freeze frame. You know what I mean?
When they have the reaction, yeah.
Yeah.
But before that happened, one of the girls asked that main girl, the teenager, I guess, it's like, why are you even dressed like that? To impress the men? Oh my God.
Yeah, they basically we've got to teach you the ways, and they take her off, which I applaud them for even showing the fact that this kind of behavior exists, and they rectify it in some way, but just
it was way too much.
Yeah, you didn't really even need that, It's a gun safety video and a fucking vest protection video, which we forgot to mention something, dude. Every time they get to one of the sequences, which by the way, they also show the officers that are in some of these scenarios where the vest has saved their lives or whatever. They show them, but it's the actual officer in question, that has the story to tell. They are reenacting these fucking scenarios, dude.
It makes you wonder how bad PTSD can happen. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, and I legitimately was just I wonder, I hope these guys weren't forced into doing this shit. And, I'm sure some of them volunteered, but we're going to get you in and, you're going to reenact everything. Fuck, dude, no, I don't want to relive it again.
Well, I was going to say, it's bad enough you have to talk about it. Reenacting that same scenario is okay, come on, dude.
Yeah, so, we're going to mull over a couple of them just because they interview these guys afterwards, and it's not being disrespectful, but it's just very long-winded. And, you know what I mean? The movie's already 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
But every time they cut to a thing where it's okay, the whole as seen by, you know what I'm talking about? The how he mentioned how every sequence is the police force or the officer is as seen by blank. This really shitty Casio keyboard music plays, and it's so dumb. What the fuck?
This feels like an old church PSA music.
It felt like some Sesame Street shit too.
Oh, I wouldn't even tarnish Sesame Street with that.
I'm not tarnishing it. I'm just saying it's PBS, dude. It's straight up some just really, I don't know. It was just weird. You have all this shit going on where you show this dude getting blasted point blank twice with a fucking 357 Magnum. It's just come on, dude.
This cop got shot with a double-barrel shotgun twice in the chest.
It's too fucking happy of music, dude.
Speaking of that part, the double-barrel shotgun.
Okay.
So they entered.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they introduced this one cop. He got shot in the chest by a 12 gauge shotgun twice. It literally shows the 2 cops walking up to the house. And the guy pops out with a double barrel and flash second shots. Pow!
Peekaboo!
Bam! The cops get out of the way and they go outside and they're oh shit, and they start shooting at the house.
Well, dude, fucking the guy that backs out of the house that got shot, he's just brushes his chest. He's just kind of fuck. He's just you all right, man? Yeah, I got some shit on me though.
And you see the freaking guy with the shotguns pop out the door.
Oh! Every time, okay, look, I want to do something now. Every fucking time we get a movie on here that has any fucking gunshot kill, we have to fucking cue up this music. It's so stupid, dude.
I can just edit the video.
Just have that continuous loop.
No. Listen to me. Every time there's a very stressful scenario, okay, you have a hostage situation or you're being held at knife point or gun point, or you're being shot at, or whatever. And literally, the moment that the shot hits the person, they react by getting knocked back. It freezes, and you hear that music play.
Oh, it goes, it's like freeze frame. And then you just hear the fucking...
And you see, okay, I'm trying to imagine how this happens, but like whenever the video like shrinks in size and it goes to the corner.
Oh, yeah, and then they have like the text on screen pop up explaining like what the fuck just happened. And then they fade away to the next. Yes!
That's how they should have edited that video.
God damn it, we should have. We need to make our own version of this shit, dude.
It's like, Mr. Davis, can we show you like how we would have edited?
Yes. Show it to a fucking crowd of people, and it's just like, oh, thank you. Thank you so fucking much.
You're too kind.
Yes. But I'm telling you, man, that happens like every time they cut to a scene. They play that god-awful music. But the shit that they show, like the one guy that was shot 3 times with another shotgun, but they don't specify the fact that it's like he got shot by 2 fucking people. He pulls up on these people in a field, and he gets out of his car and immediately fucking pulls his gun because this one dude starts running, and he runs after him. These other 2 guys just show up. Plow, plow, plow. Done.
It's like it's duck season or something. Like they just came out of the blinds behind the truck.
Wabbit season.
Yep.
Duck season. Wabbit season. Duck season.
Wabbit season.
Duck season. Fire! I swear to God, dude. I guess.
But there are 2 scenarios that are my favorite in this whole like transgression of madness here. One, there's this guy pulling over one dude in a truck, and the guy pulls a gun out of his like, okay, well, let me just unload this real quick. He pulls a fucking revolver out, shoots the cop. The cop takes off into the field behind the truck. He unloads a clip at the guy. The guy's like trying to pull something out of his like tackle box or his toolbox in the back of his truck.
He's not even reacting.
No, he's like click, 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 pow, pow. The cop unloads one clip, pulls in another clip, proceeds to unload again. He's hitting the guy at the truck. The guy is still trying to get into his toolbox.
And he does get into his toolbox.
After getting shot like 7 or 8 times.
The cop had enough time to fucking take the empty clip out and reload a full clip into his fucking gun and unload more. And the final shot of that sequence was him fucking looking at the camera and doing how Derek Savage fucking does and points the fucking gun at the camera and then just and that's it. And then the music plays. Fucking hell, dude. Like, swear to God, that's pretty much how it is. But there was a couple of other things with Richard Davis. He does make points by showing how different rounds can pierce through shit.
Bullet points.
Exactly. So huzzah! He fucking stacks up like 2x4s and point blank will shoot each of them. And he's like showing, okay, this pierces through this. And it is actually educational. Mm-hmm. But the shit that he tries to do that he thinks he's being funny with, it's just, dude, come on.
Yeah, a little too much. Like he does like the great, what was his name? It's like a magician act, basically.
Yeah, he tries to be like Houdini, and he has like a whole ass like black cape on, and it doesn't come off very well. You're just kind of like, huh? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he
secondhand embarrassment. That's what I was thinking. Very secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, because this scene, he was basically trying to provide like, okay, these are the 2 same pieces of Kevlar, but they're not the same, basically. And I'm like,
okay,
what?
At no point does he actually sit and explain the difference.
No. He tells us, I think he tells us in one scene where it's like, okay, it's the same Kevlar pieces, but 2 different loads, 2 different rounds.
Yeah, it's
in
2
the
different
gun.
loads.
Yeah, because it's 2 different bullets in the gun. He shoots one load at one Kevlar piece and another load at the other Kevlar piece.
Stop.
And there's a fucking punched in hole in the back of it. And it's like, yep, you can definitely tell the difference here.
You can tell which load was thicker.
Yeah. Thick.
Oh, my God. And there was that, and then, God, I think I forgot, he breaks a whole fucking sword out in one of them to show how the stopping power of the blade shit works.
This dude is like Billy Mays with Kevlar. let's put it that way.
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
That's what he did.
He okay, yeah. So he provides like education about how a knife cannot cut a piece of Kevlar. So he like chops himself in the chest, like, yep, doesn't do anything. But he has like this 30, 40-pound piece of meat hanging with the Kevlar on, and he grabs a katana and he's like, yep, this ain't gonna do shit to it. Chop, chop, chop.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Like, it does cut through the shit too, because doesn't he like stop himself? Well, maybe not everything.
Yeah, it's like it goes to like the outer layer, the second layer, and then like the waterproof layer of the Kevlar, and it stops right there basically.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to take the Kevlar and say, hey, let's see without the Kevlar. I'm like, dude, we really don't need to be introduced on how a piece of meat gets cut by a katana. Okay, we get it. So he does that. He does another scene with a pitchfork.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And he starts stabbing the same piece of meat with the pitchfork. He's like, yep, doesn't pierce it.
He's just over and over again, dude.
And
it's
like,
so stupid.
And then he's like, yeah, let's see without the second chance Kevlar, which he plugs the name like over and over again, like so damn much.
Like it wasn't all over the VHS box.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, let's see without the second chance Kevlar. And he's just like, yep, I saw that happening.
Right? I want to talk about two other scenes also that if I don't talk about it right now, I'll forget about them. So, let's do the whole, let's transition because, this is, as seen by the donut shop.
Oh, God.
So 3 cops roll into a donut shop. That sounds like a joke that I'm about to tell. Like, it sounds like a setup. So, 3 cops walk into a bar, 3 cops walk into a donut shop. Not even kidding. And he's like, you got my order? Yeah. Pulls like this giant fucking like party box with like 100 donuts in it for the one cop. He leaves. What about mine? Yep, hang on. 2 5-gallon bucketfuls. Shoves it across the counter. Thanks. 3rd cop walks in. What about the coffee? Bruh.
He gets like a Popeye's bag of lemonade like size coffee.
Yeah, and it has like, at like RV special like shops or whatever, like for RVs and trailers, they've got those big, well, you can find them at Walmart too, but the big like white stickers with the large black letters on them. They have coffee written or like stuck onto the bag. And then he comes back in. Well, what about the rest of the boys at the station? Oh, did you pull up and park right there? Yeah. Hang on, I'll be right out. He brings a fucking 55-gallon drum with a damn like hose on it with coffee. Mm-hmm. And then he's pushing it on a tractor. And the tractor has a trailer on it with more fucking donuts just stacked so fucking high. And you're just like, are you serious, dude? It's not even funny. Like,
no.
I mean, it is, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, and granted, this was back in, I think like the late 80s or like the very, very early 90s when this video came out. So I think back then that humor kind of stuck, but it is not aged well at all.
I'll tell you what wasn't funny. There was one of those scenarios where I think it was from Kids.
Oh my God. I totally, hang on. We cue it in. So, from the point of view of children, or no, this is this is not the one. It's the quote, and I swear to God, and I quote, what was it? Wussy liberal pinkos,
yeah. So there's like a group of 5 kids. It literally is like Captain Planet kids, at a younger age, because there's different like ethnicities and gender and stuff like that.
Yep.
They go into a convenience store and rob them of candy.
Yep.
The clerk is like, call the cops.
Somebody stop those damn kids.
And they proceed into this like open field with this like fucking tetanus shot looking clubhouse of like rusted stoves and tin pieces. And I mean, it was just the weirdest fucking assortment of random metal.
Remember Toxic Avenger?
Same thing.
That's exactly how they built this fucking thing.
And they're inside, eating the candy or messing around and whatnot. Then fucking 2 squad cars, 4 people in the cop cars pull up and just proceed to unload on the fucking clubhouse.
With grenades and everything.
And I'm like, how is this funny?
Yeah, it's not funny at all. Like, you're literally like killing children.
Over theft of candy.
Yeah, and I mean, like, getting serious here for a minute, but fuck, dude.
Like, what were they thinking? Like, how was that even humorous back in the day when you were killing kids because they stole candy?
Yeah, and I mean, it's supposed to be quote-unquote comedy, but it's not. Because, I mean, they blew this fucker up sky high. I mean, it exploded. There are armor-piercing bullets going through this fucking thing, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's just like, it's so, like, not tasteful at all. It's so bad. But to get back to the comedic side of it, I've got two more. Or I've got one from the earlier whenever I said there's two. And then the other one. The other one. Let's talk, before we talk about the funniest one, let's talk about Godzilla. Because isn't this the one
you gotta cue up the music.
Oh, hang on, I'm
sorry. One of those scenes.
Sorry. Cool. So we're here, and it's from the point of view of the sheriff.
From the cop.
From the cop himself. There's one from the chief, too, by the way, which we'll get into in a minute after the other one. But yeah, from the point of view of the cop himself.
There is literally a cut-in scene of the old-school Godzilla movie, and then it cuts to the actors and actresses, little kids, just running from Godzilla.
This woman looks like she is like slinging her child around so hard that his head's gonna fall off his fucking neck.
Yeah, Godzilla's not doing damage here. Is that mother?
That's right.
But the cop pulls up and proceeds to like shoot a shotgun into the air at Godzilla, killing Godzilla, crushing the building next to him. Everybody's cheering and hollering, "Oh yeah, you're the hero!" Blah blah blah. Fucking news reporters pull up, and they're like, how does it feel to slay Godzilla? Blah, 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 whatever. It's like, was he armed? And the cop was like, no, he was huge. It's like, did he fire back or whatever like that? It's like, no.
He was a lizard.
But he was huge.
Yeah.
And they kept berating him with all these like activists like type of scenarios, like, oh, he wasn't armed, he wasn't being threatful, he wasn't doing this, so therefore you're the monster, you're the killer. And then they had like two guys, they were like from two different organizations, like one for the safe treatment of reptile monsters, and you're getting in trouble, and they slap like a subpoena on him and shit.
Yeah, you're in trouble for a reptile dysfunction.
Yeah. Another guy pulls up behind him, like to said the same exact thing.
I'm the owner of the building that Godzilla fell onto. Slaps paper.
Yeah, here's the bill. But he was huge.
Oh, God. That needs to be like an excuse.
Yeah.
But he was huge. Roll into another one from the chief. This is the shortest one, though.
Yeah.
So the chief is sitting at a desk, right? And then there's like gunshots. And there's a cat meow first. There's a cat that meows. Gunshots. People screaming. I think there's like maybe like some other shit. Basically, it's a slew of loud noises, and he just kind of fucking face palms on he double Picard face palms on his desk.
So to set that up for you, the chief is having hell from the mayor saying, okay, I'm getting calls from the SPCA about everybody cop-wise killing cats. So y'all need to stop that shit. And then
somebody call Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah. And then the mayor's calling me up saying that we need to take better care of our squad cars. So I need you to go out there and do these two things for me, okay? And they're like, yes, chief, whatever, yeah. Next scene, you hear, meow, pow.
Yeah, just a bunch of noise and shit.
And then a car crashing into something. And then you hear the phone go off, and the chief's just like he said, just like, oh my God.
My leg! He just hears people.
It's like Nom or something to him.
Oh, dude. Let's go ahead and, because I mean, this is pretty much how the whole film goes. Let's wrap this up with our favorite one. Let's talk about silencers, Cody. Let's talk about fucking gun silencers that Richard decides to fucking, bring in.
I actually have one more. There's one more quick one that we both laughed at.
Okay.
So there was a random traffic stop.
Oh my God, yeah, thank you for remembering
and
this.
And the cop comes out of the car, and this larger dude pulls, he comes flying out the car and starts shooting the cop.
Yeah, like point fucking blank. The dude's not even halfway out of his door, like out of his car.
And the cop shoots him to the ground.
Jesus Christ. Christ.
And the guy who got shot, he picks his hand up to shoot the cop on the ground, and he gets shot again by the cop, and he's literally like shaking violently while shooting his gun at the exact same time. Like, pow, pow,
Yeah, but the way he lifts it up, he looks like he's dead. He looks completely dead. It looks like a string is pulling his fucking arm up.
It's like, Jerry, lift your arm up. Okay.
Hang on. Fuck! Should have had a second chance. God damn. And then Richard is like, all right, we're gonna take a look at silencers, and he's got like 4 guns that he tests them out. He's like, you can hear, and then you put the silencer on it, and then you hear it, and then you can hear it hitting the trees in the back. But this is my favorite, and he has like this fucking, like, what is it, like a shotgun or like a?
It was a 22 with a silencer.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. But the way he fucking describes the shit, man.
It's like, by far, my favorite one is such. And it's like, the silence is so great that all you hear.
And all you can hear is slut, slut, slut.
slut.
That is his, like, this is how he describes the noise of the silencer. Like, it is so quiet.
And all you can hear is slut, slut, slut.
He sounds like Beavis.
Yeah.
Yeah, slut. And I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna get slut.
He's blowing a load on the slut.
Heavy fucking load.
No one can hear that load.
Oh my god. It is, dude, I don't know that I have like laughed harder in my life as far as like that was just because I kind of like watched this like last week, but I kept falling asleep because honestly, like certain parts just bore me to death. But some of the aspects in this are just so great, and I forgot about that shit. And when we watched it a while ago, I fucking was just like, wait a minute, we both had to rewind that shit.
It was beautiful.
Oh, it was slut.
I mean, he literally just created one of our favorite like QN noises now.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like between that and the fucking Casio keyboard. But look, that's in a nutshell. Again, that's pretty much fucking Second Chance versus Magnum Force, and it ends with him giving some kind of speech or whatever, and then it goes over. I mean, and seriously, honestly, gives like the credits about how each officer that told his story took however many rounds to the chest and how many times it saved their lives, and you know, and it is educational, but goddamn, dude, like. It's like both of these movies, like the absurdity in which they were fucking filmed, like just the shit that they put to film.
Mm-hmm. Like one tried too hard to be funny at points, the other one didn't even realize it was being funny.
Yeah,
you know.
Dude, I think I know which one I want to give it to this week, but what are you thinking?
I don't know. It's hard because on one hand, you got like a continuation of what we're used to, not so much on the same level, but I think I'm going to give mine to Second Chance.
Same.
Because it gave us such great cue-in noises.
Well, I mean, it gave us some like different kind of like unintentional humor because it tried to be funny, but it was shitty.
Yeah.
But it was also unintentionally funny. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but in my brain, that makes total fucking sense.
Like, I wonder if he wrote the dialogue for that one part with the silence. It's like, yeah, I'll just put in, like, it sounds like slut, and that'd be funny.
Like every time he says slut, he just checks it off. Like,
yeah. In his mind. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, Second Chance versus Magnum Force wins just barely this week. Mm-hmm. And you can check out both of these on YouTube. If you scroll down to our show notes below, if you click on the title of each movie, it'll send you straight to the movie on YouTube. Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, honestly, like the fact that they have these on YouTube is kind of, it's good because it's also a form of like, hey, it's, you know, it's public domain for anybody that wants to use these, which I don't know why the fuck you would use either of these to like teach. Other than, like this is like a good, like, it's Friday night. I'm kind of bored because I'm at home alone. I've got no other plan. I'll fucking watch these and just laugh my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very satisfied with these. Like these were some really good, like, fucking comedic things. So
this is why we're here, is because of movies like these.
I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do next week, but I think the next Cult Cinema Showdown is like in the pipe right now, because we're not gonna release it on Valentine's Day, but I feel like it's the month of February. Let's go ahead and do something Valentine's related. So the 1981 film My Bloody Valentine just recently got re-released from the same people that did the re-release of Silent Night, Deadly Night. So for the first time, there's going to be the 4K, like, restored from the original printing, the uncut version for the first time in America, I think. And we're going to put that one up against X-Ray, a.k.a. Hospital Massacre. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to celebrate Valentine's. We're not doing fucking rom-coms. We're going to go full-blown horror and just massacre. Because why not?
I mean, why would we ever do rom-coms on here?
I mean, there's a couple of them that I'd be like, yeah, maybe, but it falls into that really, like My Boyfriend's Back would be a really fun one to do one day, because that's actually very, like, absolutely quintessential 90s, like, I hate to use the term B-movie, because I grew up watching it and it was pretty funny.
Same.
So, yeah, that's all I got for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website, supermediabrospodcast.com. You can listen to all of our stuff there. You can buy our new logo on a t-shirt at our Store Frontier website. Go there, buy a shirt. You know you fucking want one. As always, follow us on social media. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at supermediabros_. Come like all of our stupid fucking pictures at Supermedia Podcast on Instagram.
I mean, shit, we made fun of Shakira from the halftime show.
Oh my God, yes. Shakira reminded me of fucking Vitas, the Seventh Element. I fucking love that shit. What else? If you feel like you would like to donate to us monetarily, those are always welcome. You can donate to us at Patreon, and you can donate to us at coffee.com, both /supermediabros. And on Patreon, you can sign up for the Shades On tier, which is just giving us your undying love and support.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go further, you can do the We're Off tier. That's $5, but you get extra little episodes. And it's pretty fun.
Just for y'all.
Just for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, dude. I'm tired, and I'm going to have nightmares about this fucking goddamn music playing, and it's stuck in my head. It's like, it reminds me of the music that you would like put a quarter in, and it's just like a little trolley, you know what I mean, like a little merry-go-round,
a little
thing.
Carousel. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, just do God damn it, I have the melody in my head so hard that I can mimic it.
Or those little rides you see in front of like grocery stores.
That's
what
I'm.
Yeah,
that's what I'm.
They
talking
go back
about.
and forth. Just
fuck my life.
In this case, it'd be the shape of a fucking like assault rifle or something.
Oh no!
Ride the gun.
Put a quarter round in the fucking
quarter mag.
Yeah. Oh God! You just hear ting. Boom. All right, let's roll out of this bitch. That was Cult Cinema Showdown 42, episode 110. For this week, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I've been Okame.
Shades on.
We're off.